Hey guys, Dan here. I'd like to say that last commentary I made was pretty boring. I don't like listening to myself talk about maples, so for this one, I got a story for you guys. It's about my ride home from my mom's house and how I annoyed my dad. So it started out, my dad told me this story. There was some guy at his work. His lips were all chapped. He didn't have any chapstick or anything, so he took horse or cow manure or something and rubbed it on his lips, like pretty disgusting, right? So I just brushed that story off. It was just like, whatever, who cares? So then we just passed this intersection and there's this lady driving real recklessly. She almost caused a accident with some truck because she's just going way too fast down the street. And my dad's just like, "Oh, on the way up here there was almost an accident in that exact same spot. It must be some kind of sign." And I just said to my dad, like, everything's a sign to you. Like, come on. All these figments of your imagination, you can't just think everything's a sign. He says really stupid things like that all the time, like, the world works in mysterious ways, and it's like, no, it doesn't, Dad. Come on, get real here. Then this one song I never heard before came on the radio. I can't remember the band, but it's called People Are People. I'll post the link in the description, but that came on the radio. I heard it it was like the first time ever hearing it, and I thought it was alright, and my dad changes it, and I was like, "Why'd you change it?" He's like, "'Cause I didn't want to listen to a bunch of tin cans banging together." But right away I knew he was lying. I was like, "Come on, Dad, why'd you change it?" And he's just like, "Because it's 80s pop music." But I mean, he doesn't even mind 80s pop, so right then and there I knew for sure he was lying. I was like, "Come on, Dad, why'd you change the station?" And he's just like, "Oh, well, I guess you like listening to Michael Jackson and Boy George and all those bands or something." And I was like, I was thinking in my head, like, right then and there I knew what it was. He was just being some kind of weirdo homophobe, because the song, I guess, was about, I think it's about gay rights, because the lyrics go, "People are people, why can't a man date another man?" I didn't find that out till later, till I got home and listened to the song on my YouTube there, and I still like the song. It's still alright, but yeah, I kept just bugging him about it. I was like, "Come on, Dad, why'd you change the station? You couldn't have changed it for any of those reasons. Like, just tell me." And then he kept refusing and making up all these bullcrap excuses why he changed it. And I was like, "Okay, Dad, you know what? It's okay. I know why you changed it. You don't have to tell me. I already know." And then he laughed it off. So we're almost at my house, and I see my new neighbor. He's like a million years old. I see him. He's shoveling off his this wheelchair ramp thing. It wasn't for him. It was for the previous owner. But he was shoveling that, like, the snow off it. And I was like, "Hey, Dad, you think it'd be funny if I started barking at that guy while he was shoveling?" He's like, "You better not." And I was like, "Oh, I'm doing it." So as soon as my dad pulled up, and he started rushing, grabbing his stuff. And you know what? I'll make the noises for you guys. So as soon as I got out of the car, I went at the guy, like making him like think like, "Oh man, there's like a psycho kid living over there and stuff." And my dad's like, "Oh, you don't do that, Dan." I was like, "What are you gonna do about it?" And then my dad's getting all embarrassed. I was like, "Well, would you feel better if I started howling like a wolf?" And I started going, "Oh! Oh!" as loud as I could. And for some reason, this just felt like a mission success, Like, I got my dad back for being a dumb homophobe, embarrassed him in public, made this neighbor scared of me a little bit, I guess. And like, I always wanted to bug this guy. I walked by his house one night. I was going snow skating, and he just stared, like, leering at me out his window. And I was like, "Man, who the hell is this guy?" My dad got the worst part of it though, because now all the time I sing to him, "People are people." Then I change up the lyrics. Instead of saying, "Why can't a man date another man?" I say, "Why can't a Dave date another Dave?" Or I say, "Why can't a Satan date another Satan?" And just like stuff like that, just like annoy him about it, just so he wishes he never changed the radio station. You know, I even said that to him the next day after this happened. I was like, Dad, I bet you sure wish you just never changed the radio station in front of me. It probably would have been a lot easier. He's like, oh yeah, you probably would have made fun of me for rolling down the window. And I was like, oh, good cover up, Dad. But yeah, that's my story. The moral to this story, I guess, is don't be a homophobe around me, or you're never going to hear the end of it, because I'm still going to continue to sing this song every day to my dad. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. So thank you.